I'll give you a little background on me. My mom is Jeanette Johnson. My dad is Antoine Johnson, sitting next to her. My grandfather is Ernest Cobb, and my grandmother is Geraldine Cobb.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My aunt is Gail there, and my uncle is Ernest Jr. All right, so I wrote a paper about 2 years ago, which is my freshman year of college. I'm going to be a junior in the fall. I'm majoring in political science and public relations, and the paper is on the role that gender plays in political campaigns, but I'm going to kind of try to make it not as boring as it sounds. So I'm going to ask you some questions throughout, so hopefully you'll get involved and answer them. All right, so the paper focuses on two main points, which is that the fact that we have so few women serving in our government, and even though the majority of our population is female, and the reason for that. A quote that I put in my paper is from the former president and defense minister of Chile. And she said, "For me, a better democracy is a democracy where women do not only have the right to vote and to elect, but to be elected." So how many of us here agree with that? All right, that's good. Who here can name a female politician in the United States? In the purple dress? Yep, Hillary Clinton. Anyone else? Elizabeth Warren, senator in Massachusetts. Anyone else got one?
Brenda Lawrence.
Yep, Condoleezza Rice.
Brenda Lawrence.
Brenda Lawrence, my congresswoman. Who? One more time. Barbara Jordan. I don't know who that is, but I believe you. All right, I made a list just in case you guys didn't know of any, which I'm glad you all do. I wrote Hillary Clinton, Nikki Haley, who's the South Carolina governor, Jennifer Granholm, who is a former governor in Michigan, and Brenda Lawrence, my congresswoman. So part 3 is some statistics. What percentage of congressional seats do women hold in the United States? Does anyone have a guess? 45%? Anyone else?
Yeah, that's like 10.
I heard 10. 30, 25? All right, the answer is less than 20. It's about 19 and a half. Even though it's about 53% women that live in the United States. So where do you think we rank in comparison to other countries in the world? The bottom? All right, the number is 98. There are 97 countries that have more women in their national legislatures than the United States. So why is it so difficult for women to get elected? Does anyone have any ideas? Why is it so hard for women to get positions of power in our government? Wealth? Gender bias? That's a good one. Anyone else? All right, to put it simply, most politicians are men. And the biggest difficulty to getting a position in government is incumbency. An incumbent is someone who's already in office, and 90% of the time incumbents win against people that are running against them. So if most of them are men, then that's why we have mostly men in our legislature.
Yeah, but what kind of men?
What do you mean? Oh yeah, mostly white men and old men. Yep. Thank you for pointing that out. Another thing is the expectation that female candidates should be more qualified or more conservative than male candidates. So women often have to make sure that their hair looks nice, or that they're wearing the right thing, that they're not too loud, and so on and so forth, because otherwise they'll get scrutinized for it in the media. Women also have to be way more qualified than men. If you're a woman running for president, you need to have the spectacular resume. I've actually had people tell me that they don't think that women should be allowed to be president of the United States. And do you know what their reason is?
Mood swings.
Yeah, they don't have any idea either. They just believe that for whatever reason. Another thing is voter attitudes towards women. There are 4 groups of people who are more likely to not support women candidates. Who do you think they are?
Men?
Well, no, not men, but like,
Donald Trump?
well, here's an example. One group is conservatives. Republicans is another group. Educators voters who are less educated are also a group. And the last one is older voters, who tend to be more conservative, which kind of...
That makes sense.
Studies have been done that say that news stories more often talk about a female candidate's spouse than male candidate spouses. So when a woman is running for office and you have her on TV, the media is talking about that woman's wife and her kids, but when a man runs for office, they're talking about that man and nothing to do with his family usually. They more often talk about a woman's appearance also. Like for example, I know Hillary Clinton, for example, she dyes her hair blonde because she's like 60 something, so like it's not all blonde, she has some gray strands in there. So she dyes it probably because she knows that people would talk about it. Oh, she's too old to be president, blah, blah, blah. The last thing is campaign strategies. Women tend to strategize their campaigns more carefully. Women are more likely to emphasize being tough and tend to keep photos of their families out of advertisements to make it seem like, to keep people from thinking that they're too soft and to avoid being seen as weak. So in conclusion, women are seen as being better at handling economic and social issues, which are really the issues most important to Americans today. Regardless of how difficult it is for women to run for office, we need more women in office so that we reach equal representation. This doesn't just apply to women, but to racial and social minorities as well. Running for office or reaching any goal might be difficult because of your race, background, social class, gender, or whatever, but the benefits will be tremendous.